Off-Road, we will be doing our first modification to our brand new KRX. We will be unboxing, installing, and giving a review on the Tusk Cargo Barricade. You're not going to want to miss this, so stay right there. Alright, so we're going to get right into it. Gonna go ahead and open up the box and see what we got in here. All right, so we got some tissue paper here. Gonna toss that aside. All right, there's the barricade. Let's see what else we got in the package. We're gonna open this up real quick. All right. So we got some info here. All right, this is the instructions. Pretty straightforward. Got some hardware here, but we're missing something. Let's go ahead and open this up. All right, this is the barricade. Right here. Okay. Some plastic there. Bubble wrap. All right, so let's take a closer look. So this is what comes in the package. We got some instructions, some hardware, little spacers there, and the barricade. The barricade looks pretty nice. It's got this, looks like 1 1/4 inch steel tubing around the rim. And then it's got what looks to be laser cutted steel along the edge. And these holes here will be good for tying things down to. Pretty nicely welded. Not bad. I noticed there's a little powder coating blemish. Nothing too crazy. I don't think it had anything to do with us falling. But we're just gonna touch that up. All right, that's what comes in the package. No. This can't be right. What? It's not in here. What the heck? I'm about to lose my shit. No fucking sticker.
Simmer down now.
There's no way I paid this much and it didn't come with a fucking sticker.
I'm only gonna say this one more time, sir. Calm down.
I'm calm! Now we're gonna start the install. All right, so we're gonna come over here with our 12mm and remove these D-ring shackles on the rear. They aren't very tight, so they're pretty easily removed. So we're gonna go ahead and remove them and set them aside. We're gonna use them later. Okay. Also, this black washer we're gonna remove as well. Leave the silver washer down in there. We're gonna use that. So then we're gonna take our aluminum spacer. We're gonna put it in here. The threaded hole is gonna face the rear. Then we're gonna take our M8 by 40mm screw and just screw it with your fingers all the way down until it touches.
That's what she said!
We're gonna leave it kind of loose so we can adjust the cargo barricade later. So we're gonna do this side and then we're gonna move over and do this side. So with the spacers in place, we're gonna go ahead and remove these cage bolts. They are a 17mm socket. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that and set them aside. We're gonna be reusing them. Now these are torqued on there pretty good. So you wanna watch because sometimes the cage can shift a little bit after you remove these bolts. I'm gonna show you a little trick to install your barricade if that's the case, because these need to line up perfect. So you can see how that shifted. We're gonna have to draw that back in before we can reinstall. We're just gonna go ahead and do both sides first, and then we'll show you how to do it. Oop. So that one shifted as well. So you can see how this hole doesn't line up with the threads anymore. That's a little bit of a problem, but we have a solution. I'm gonna show you a little trick to get this back in line. So you're gonna come up here to the top of here and we're gonna loosen up these bolts. We're not gonna remove them, just loosen them up. So that will enable us to be able to shift this back in line with the hole. So just keep in mind that trick might not be necessary for everyone. Your cage might not shift when you loosen it, or you might be able to just maneuver the cage into place by hand without loosening up those bolts. But if that's the case, then just go ahead and move on to this next step. So the next step in installation is to take these washers, take 2 of them, and put them down in this little indent right here. Same thing on this side. And now we're gonna take the barricade and try to line it up. It's very difficult one-handed. If you have another set of hands, definitely suggest using them.
That's what. If you say "that's what she said" one more time, I'm gonna pop you.
So then we're gonna take our factory bolt and just loosely put it through the washer and the barricade. And just hold it in place. And same thing on this side. Right. So if you didn't have any alignment issues, this would be where you'd be hand tightening these bolts down. We're gonna go ahead and take our other M8 bolts and we're gonna adjust the angle on this so we can fit it down in there. And we just want it loose. We're gonna do the other side. So now we should be able to just bend this roll bar into place and then start threading this by hand. We're trying to find a thread. And I think we found it, maybe.
A few moments later.
So you know how I said sometimes you don't line up easily, and there's a trick to making them line up. So we're gonna have to use that trick because this is being a pain in the butt.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
We loosened these 2 bolts here, and these 2 bolts here, and the same on the other side, but we're having trouble. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen that bolt there, and that bolt there as well. Now, with all these bolts loosened up, we're gonna try one more time. Alright guys, so after struggling with it, I finally came up with the shade tree mechanic method of getting this bar in the right spot. The problem I was having was this bar actually slid forward when we released these bolts, and even with loosening those bolts up there, we just couldn't slide it far enough back and hold it in place to get those bolts threaded. So we set up a little ratchet to this tree and we're gonna winch it back a little bit and hopefully we can get those bolts lined up. So let's give it a try. And we got some tension on it. Well, believe it or not, that worked. So we got this one finger threaded and now we're finger threading this one. So if you have a real hard time getting this bar to line up, try this trick out. Now wouldn't you know, this side's super easy. It was just that side that was a pain in the butt. So hopefully you'll get lucky, but if not, just know, good old ratchet strap and a shade tree, good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get these tightened down. We're gonna tighten this one and this one with our 5mm Allen key. And we're actually gonna remove this to put the D-rings back in. Let's get to it. We're gonna reuse this washer. We're gonna orient them. Let's orient them this way, like this. There we go. And tighten that down. And go ahead and release this. So sorry about the wind, guys. We had to take it outside to use that tree trick. So we got these tightened down and we're gonna go ahead and tighten up those corners again. All right, guys, she is all installed. She looking nice. Look at that. Look at all that extra room in there. We're gonna put a tape measure on here so you can see exactly how much room this added, but it's a lot of room. So just about 5 extra inches of room in the tailgate now. Sweet! We're super excited about this. And also believe this is gonna tie in the roll cage a little bit, make this rear end stiffer. So the paint on it's a little weak. Notice some chipping like I mentioned before getting it. And then also on install, a little rub marks. Not a big deal, we can always touch that up, but adds a ton of space, makes the bike look super nice. So coming in right at about 150 bucks, I definitely think this is a worthwhile mod. It kind of just completes the rear end of the KRX. So you could go with the OEM trunk. I've looked at that one and it's pretty nice, but I really wanted to maximize the space space available in the trunk, and the OEM trunk kind of makes it flat, whereas this one brings it out a little bit more. The OEM box is also a ton more expensive, so if you like saving money, the Tusk Barricade might be the right one for you. So you don't get the covered storage like you would with an OEM trunk, but I put all my stuff in a waterproof bag behind the seat, so I didn't really need that waterproof storage, and I wanted to maximize the amount of space. So for that, the Tusk Cargo Barricade is perfect. I've also seen the Super ATV Barricade for about the same price, but I think this one's built a little bit better. The Super ATV Barricade doesn't have this large tubing around the rim, and it also doesn't have this laser cutted design that will allow us to tie down things. So nothing against the OEM trunk or the Super ATV Barricade, but the Tusk Barricade fit a lot of my needs better. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed or found this content useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Only about 7% of my viewers are subscribers, and subscribing goes a long way with allowing us to produce more content like this. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you, and see you next time.